All right. I think we can sound down our music and welcome everyone at this point. Thanks, Anna, for launching the PowerPoint. So welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. I guess we're almost at Friday. And I hope I know here it's been raining all day here in the Bay Area. I don't know what's looking like in other parts of the state, but I hope everyone's having a nice day and a nice week. I'm Simone Turek-Lee. I'm the Director of Housing and Health here at John Burton Advocates for Youth. And I want to welcome everyone to the virtual launch for the California Foster Youth Tax Filing Challenge. I think we're still possibly, Anna, are we still waiting maybe for a few people to log on and maybe we want to do our little sort of activity while we wait for people to join still?
Yeah, I think we're waiting on maybe about 5 to 10 people here still joining. We've got about almost 60 participants from different counties, from 24 counties joining. So what we're going to do while we let people filter into the room, get their desk set up, get their lunch set up, is we're going to launch a little bit of a poll. So yeah, so if you can either go to pigeonhole.at and enter the passcode FYTC and just answer this first poll, that would be great. So it's, what is the first word that comes to mind when you think about filing taxes?
And after this, we'll do some introductions and sort of all of those housekeeping things we normally do, but we figured we'd give people a chance to get signed on that might be jumping on just a few minutes after the hour.
And folks, if you haven't yet gone into the Pigeonhole app, up here at the top, it also says the URL, and it's in the chat too.
The adulthood one really rings a bell when we think about, the young people that are filing taxes and how this is like it's a real adult thing to file taxes. It's like you're not a real full-blown adult until you file a tax. No, but one of those things that we or I very much associate with adulthood responsibilities.
Nice. So Simone, we can get going. I think we have the majority of people who are able to join today. So just admitting a few more people into the room here, and it looks like we've got almost everybody.
Thank you. So yeah, so for those who just joined, we just did a word cloud activity where everyone was asked, what's the first word that comes to mind when you think about filing taxes? As you can see, there's a lot of, so there's a lot of challenges up here. There's a lot of not maybe so positive words because it can be stressful, it can be confusing, it can be hard, and even scary, filing taxes, particularly if you're doing it for the first time. So I think this is a really good stage setting activity for why we all want to help you file their taxes and file their taxes correctly. So thanks for participating in that activity. I want to sort of launch us into our agenda here. I'm Simone Turek-Lee with John Burton Advocates for Youth. I'll introduce some other, our whole team in a moment. But I just want to welcome everyone and just say that we're so excited to be launching the Foster Youth Tax Filing Challenge. And, it's really a major part of the statewide goal of really getting to as many youth as possible to claim the new foster youth tax credit in its first year of implementation. And our hope is that over the next several years, we'll see that number grow. So before we dive into those details, let's do a few housekeeping activities or housekeeping sort of information here. If you're having any trouble, I saw someone on the chat having some trouble with their audio, feel free to continue to chat those things, and someone from the team will try to assist you to the best of our ability with technology. Gotta love it. And I think most of us by now are pretty familiar with Zoom, 2+ years into the pandemic. So that's the information there. And we can advance to the next slide. So let's jump into the agenda. I do want to say, if you haven't taken out your lunch and started eating yet, please don't hesitate. Don't worry about feeling rude or feeling weird about eating. This is a working meeting, a working lunch meeting. So if we were in person, we'd all be eating together. We'd love to dine with you in person. We know right now that wasn't maybe possible. So the next best thing was, as you know, getting this lunch gift card. So we hope you ordered your lunch and that you have it and you're able to pull it out and eat it now. If it gets delivered later, pull it out whenever you need to. But first we're going to do some introductions. Then we will, and that'll include some breakout rooms where people will introduce themselves in a smaller group setting. We'll also do kind of just some background context setting. Then we'll provide an overview of the challenge that we're here to talk about today. We'll talk a little bit about within that challenge, what technical assistance and training is available. And then we'll have a sort of working session breakout where we're going to work on some more individualized education and outreach plans within each of our counties. And we'll be facilitating those and getting those started. And then we'll have a discussion period of just question and answer time to chat. So let's move to the next slide. And before I introduce the team, I just want to say, because I was reminding myself to mention this, how many, if just like a show of hands or a thumbs up or something, how many people are familiar with our FAFSA challenge that we launched years ago and are still doing? Okay, so there's some, I'm seeing some hands. So if you may have already guessed this, we've modeled this after the FAFSA challenge. That was, fortunately successful in upping our FAFSA completion rate among foster youth. And so we're really hoping to see the same type of progress with tax filing. And we're really excited to partner with all of you to make that happen. And we have a team here at JBAY that's involved in some capacity with the tax filing challenge and with our larger sort of tax project. And so I want to introduce everyone on the team here. So first, starting on the left, we have Andy Lomeli. He is our housing and health project manager. He's based in LA. We are a statewide organization, and we do statewide legislative advocacy and also technical assistance across the state, but we also do some local work, and some of our staff are located in, various places across the state. So Andy is based in LA and has been with JBAY since the beginning of this year, pretty much. Anna Johnson is the Associate Director of Housing and Health, and they're based here in the Bay Area. I'm saying here because that's where I'm based. And Anna has been with JBAY for about 3-ish years and is leading the California Foster Youth Tax Project work, which encompasses this challenge. So Anna's really been spearheaded all of our tax initiatives that we've been doing over the last few years, and has a wealth of information about filing taxes. Carla Macias is a consultant with JBAY. So Carla is sort of an honorary member of our housing and health team, and we've known Carla forever. So we actually partnered with Carla in her previous capacity. She was with Santa Clara County Social Services Agency for a very long time. And we worked with Santa Clara County in the past few years really closely on this tax work. And so we worked with Carla in that capacity. And then she retired and we said, come work with us on the other side of things. And so now she's positioned to help all of you in your counties try to achieve the results that you're looking for. And Jerry Javier is a project associate here at JBAY. They're also based here in the Bay Area. and has been with JBAY since earlier this year. And then lastly, I'm Simone Turek-Lee. I'm our Director of Housing and Health, and I've been with the organization since 2009, and I'm based here in the Bay Area. So next, let's move on to the next slide. So why focus on tax credits and refunds? You know, this may be somewhat obvious to people, and maybe some of these things are less obvious, but there's a whole plethora of reasons that we want youth to file taxes. And they're listed here, and I won't go into great detail. Some of them, like I said, I think are a little more obvious, like the decreases poverty. That one's pretty straightforward. We've seen a pretty significant increase in income for some of the youth that are filing taxes and getting all these different credits, getting their refund. And so it really has, for some people, particularly parenting youth, really been a game changer. And you can see on this list, there's something there about supporting parenting foster youth and their children. You know, one thing I think that's less obvious is ensuring access to tax benefit programs. You know, and maybe a little more obvious now with the pandemic, but you know, sometimes benefits and relief are actually kind of distributed via taxes. And a perfect example is pandemic relief, right? The stimulus payments. We looked at our work with Santa Clara in the first year we worked with them and noticed that 60% of youth were missing their stimulus checks because they had never filed. And so now that those youth have filed, that will not happen in the future. So there's a lot here, also having to do with, you know, educational and financial aid. You know, you have to provide a tax return to, you know, when you apply for financial aid, or otherwise you'll have to provide some other forms. And so having filing taxes makes things like public benefits, financial aid, it makes it all a lot more seamless and easier. So it's sort of one of those things that has some indirect benefits as well. And I think one big thing just to mention is, you know, once youth file, they've filed for the first time, they've hopefully done it correctly and had a positive experience with it. That sets them up for that long-term sort of health, that long-term financial health of filing taxes and not accidentally, you know, ending up doing it wrong, owing a bunch of money. We want to avoid, you know, those paid preparers. Some of them are predatory. It costs a lot of money. They actually have several errors often. So we really want to set people up with doing it the right way. So let's move to the next slide. And the document that was on that slide, by the way, that you see on the left, you can get that and there's a whole description of all these benefits if you want to sort of explain why tax filing is important to young people. We have a sheet for that. But sort of how we got started on this work was really beginning with these policy changes. In 2018, the California State Legislature modified eligibility for the California Earned Income Tax Credit. And that's a tax credit. So if you've earned more than $1 in the tax year, you potentially qualify as long as you're under $30,000 for that year. But you know, the policy change was that previously transition age youth, so youth under the age of 24, had to be custodial parents to qualify. Now that's not the case. So since 2018, it has opened up a new credit for transition age youth. And so that's when our work really started with that. Since then, we've seen other policy changes, temporary policy changes related to the pandemic, specific to foster and homeless youth, and then also policy changes related to the child tax credits, both at the state and federal level. And the big deal, the third bullet there, is the establishment of the foster youth tax credit that we worked on earlier this year. And that is now something specific for foster youth that you'll hear all about later. They can receive up to $1,083 when they file next year. And, you know, it's also an incentive to you know, a carrot to get them to file. Let's move on to the next slide. And so, as I mentioned, brand new credit specifically for foster youth. So this was funded with $21 million in our state budget. It was put in a budget trailer bill, SB 201. It's called the California Foster Youth Tax Credit. It's a refundable tax credit, so it doesn't just reduce money owed if someone owes money, which often our youth usually don't owe money, but it's a refundable tax credit, meaning you actually get cash in hand, you get a refund with it. So it's money going in their bank accounts that they can get. And this was a proposal championed by the governor. We pitched it to the governor, and we were so fortunate that he picked it up and put it in his January budget. It was a proposal that was supported by our state controller, Betty Yee, Senator Caballero, and then us in addition to the Cali ITC Coalition. And you'll hear more details about eligibility later, so I won't go into detail there. Let's move on to the next slide. Thanks, Anna. So participating counties. So this is all of you, this is who has indicated that they would like to participate in the California Foster Youth Tax Filing Challenge. So, we're launching this challenge as part of really implementing this new tax credit and getting youth to file. And so these are the counties that have accepted the challenge. You can see there's representation from all across California's regions, and we're excited to really see, the enthusiasm about this new credit and about getting youth to file and receive the money that they are owed. This is money that's already out there, it already exists. Why not maximize that before we go and ask for new money, right? Let's get them what they're owed by our state and federal governments. And so thank you for joining us in this work. We're so happy to have you. And so obviously, none of us do anything alone. There's all sorts of partners involved in this work. And so this slide shows the partner organizations participating in this broader project that I mentioned, and that will really help counties to meet their goals and get youth to file. These are largely, our nonprofit partners, right? I also want to say that we have a lot of folks on this list, and a lot of counties on the previous slide list are existing partners that we've worked with last year or the year before. And I want to acknowledge you all and say thank you for continuing and sticking with us. And thank you for those who are new for joining us this year. So you can see on the left, there's organizations that are becoming what is called a VITA site or maybe a VITA subsite. VITA is a volunteer income tax assistance site, and it's an IRS certified site where certified volunteers assist people who qualify for free assistance based on their income with completing their taxes. And most commonly, you might hear about this free assistance available to seniors. It can be anyone who income qualifies. So we could have sites for just current former foster youth. So that is the concept that we're pushing here. And there are some of these folks on the list on the left have already established sites last year or the year before and are returning. And then some are establishing new sites or are working with existing sites as sub-sites. And like I said, they will help with moving the needle on getting youth to file in all of your counties. And some of the access will be virtual. So if you don't have a site in your region, don't worry. There are still resources and ways to help youth file. On the right are our statewide education and outreach partners. These are partners that are sort of, really helping get the word out, for one, reaching out to large numbers of young people directly via text or other methods and getting them help with getting set up with appointments. And then also some of them are doing some sort of hybrid events, maybe a self-filing event or another way to partner with existing sites. So together, everyone on this screen is really here to try to help youth file and connect them with filing. So you can, definitely, we want this to be an open community where people can talk to one another and get to know partners. So I think Anna has made contact information available in our resource directory that will probably be shared about later. If you don't see your name on this list, don't worry. It's not because we don't have love for you. If you're here and you don't see your name or your organization or your county or your organization, it just means we're still in conversation with you. We haven't collectively with you determined which role you're playing exactly. And we didn't want to put anything up prematurely and then have you say, well, that's not the role I'm playing. So this might be a not 100% inclusive list because we're still working out some kinks with partners in exactly what they would like to sign up to do. So to be continued there. And then lastly, these are our project funders. So obviously we can't do this work without money, without the support of foundations and other funders. And, these are a combination of entities that have funded us, JBAY, and also entities that have funded some of these existing VITA sites and education and outreach partners, because like United Ways and Golden State Opportunity, they have state funding to support these sites and to support education and outreach. And so we've been encouraging some of you to apply for that funding. So I'm going to, this is the part where I stop talking at you and we move into a conversation, into breakout rooms. And so this is serving as our first sort of breakout. It's really an introductory breakout. The idea is in your group, introduce yourself. So name, pronouns, county, role. And then there are 3 prompts there. And I think you can select one, but maybe if you have time, you can move through 2 or 3 of them, but feel free in the beginning to just select which one you want to answer. And I think we're going to move into rooms now.
So you do have to select join to join your breakout room if you're still in the main room. Claudia, I know that you can only hear us, so if you want to share a prompt in the chat, I can chat with you. I know you have no audio. Let's see, Robin, if you can press join, and Jasmine, if you can press join, you'll move to your room.
And I'm multitasking, fielding a crisis. I'm gonna click as soon as I can.
That's okay. There's other people in the room, so they're not alone. You're not leaving
Okay,
anyone
good.
high and dry. You're good.
I'm right. I'm in the office trying to field something, and I know Claudia's having audio problems.
Mhm.
So, all right. Good to
No
see you.
Good to see you.
Hi, Anna.
Hey, good to
It's
see
Nate.
you.
Good to see you too. I had just one quick suggestion is posting the discussion questions in the chat before we go out to breakout rooms. So, because I think we kind of forgot what the questions were.
Oh no, what
My
did you talk about?
apologies. I should have announced, and I meant to say this, and I actually was trying to remind myself to say, the questions are in the agenda. So when you lose the Zoom, and
cool.
and once we went to breakouts, I thought of that and I was like, oh, but we obviously had it in my breakout, but I thought, oh man, I hope other people realize that they have it in their agenda. So my apologies for that. I should
No,
have.
thank you for the reminder. No worries at all.
Well, I hope you got to meet some cool people from another county maybe, and just hear what people are getting excited about or the ambitious goals we all have. Everyone in this challenge today, I've had the pleasure of meeting and speaking with and just hearing all the love that everyone in this Zoom room has for young people. It really is a great way to kind of start this discussion. So let's just talk about the challenge. This is our first year doing this. It's our first year with this opportunity to get $21 million annually out the door to young people. And, that's not nothing. It's going to be a big deal. So thank you all for joining us. So we thought, well, how can we support with this very new policy that probably nobody's going to know about, especially not our young people? So we decided to launch the Foster Youth Tax Filing Challenge. As Simone mentioned earlier, many of you actually partner with us on our education challenge around financial aid and school readiness. So we like that, it's fun. And what we're doing is we've actually got 24 counties who have agreed to participate in the challenge and some nonprofit partners where we're going to provide support for you in implementing this new law. So we do have a county policy and practice that, thanks to LA and Santa Clara for sharing their existing policies with us so that we could also just hand those out to other counties for their consideration. We've got some training that's available and training that's coming soon. We'll be working with CWDA and CalSWEC to get something official in the CalSWEC training system online for people in the future. But this year, our trainings will serve as sort of a pilot. What do you like about the trainings? What would you change about them? And you'll be able to weigh in and kind of structure that support for future trainees. We've got a lot of materials to disseminate on the foster youth tax credit. And then we'll also have ways to refer youth directly to an appointment with volunteers who are trained to serve them specifically. We're not sending people necessarily to the general community center or the senior center in our communities where they might not know who foster youth are. We're trying to kind of specialize this experience and make sure they get the help that they need, being first-time filers, not experienced tax filers. So our ambitious goal for this year is we really want to see this money get into the pockets of young people, which is why we've recruited all of you here, because we know you can do it. We believe in you. And this is the first year. So we'll want at least 50% of our foster youth to claim the foster youth tax credit in year one as an ambitious goal. At least $10 million out the door. We might do better than that, but I also don't want to be unrealistic. It's a first year implementation. So beginning this year, starting 2023, when people file, it will be in the tax return for the first time. So youth who are eligible for the foster youth tax credit can actually qualify for $1,083. It had a little bit of an inflation bump since it passed. And the value of the credit does reduce if they're earning closer to $30,000. And then after they earn $30,000, it goes away. So it's really a low income poverty reduction tool. The majority of our young people have qualified for this in the past 2 filing years that we've helped them file. So between 65 to 71% of young people were able to claim a Cali ITC credit. So we're excited to help get that money in their pockets. So for participating in the challenge, what we're providing to you as JBAY's sort of technical assistance and training is we'll be developing free promotional materials. I already see some of you using the Zoom backgrounds. We thought that was fun since we'll be tax filing with people or meeting with people. That was one way, but we'll have more to help you prepare and spread the word. We're going to be providing challenge winners with $1,000 in unrestricted program funding, and winners will be selected in July 2023 after kind of the majority of the tax filing season. And technical support is available, including materials, webinars, staff trainings or ILP trainings, phone, email, text. If you want to text me, what does this tax thing mean? We don't need you to be tax experts. You are experts with the young people that you serve, in relational experts and your trusted partners. And some of us are choosing to do the tax training or have done the tax training and will continue to develop that level of expertise. But really, that's the partnership here that we're seeking, is getting young people to those appointments and helping them get to an IRS certified person. So we'll be on call for you as you need us. So this next thing to make the challenge work is sort of, and to see if the money really is getting to young people, it's a little bit of data tracking. So you might not be the best person in your county for me to talk to about that, but you could link myself or Carla here with the best person in your county to talk about data. But each participating county will be asked to provide a baseline number of eligible current and former foster youth in their county, so that we can kind of set up the challenge and the prize and all of that kind of structure. Eligible youth were in care on or after their 13th birthday. They are now ages 18 through 25, so there's some birth years to consider in the data. And they're not yet 26 by December 31st of this year. So that's who will be eligible starting in January. And that will give us that general sense that we need. We've been talking to CDSS also. So if you're like, well, our data people are swamped, we don't have time for this, we do have this link in the PowerPoint to a request email that you can copy and paste and just put your county name in there and ask CDSS to send you what they think. So in order to actually pull this off legislatively, CDSS does have a list and like an idea estimate of how many people will qualify. JBAY can't get that directly because we aren't privileged to see that information, but counties can. So we try to make it easy for you to request that information with a simple email, send it to the right people and get that baseline data. So put any questions you might have about that in the chat or in our planning breakout rooms later. You can say, we need JBAY support on this, or you know, you can say, we have no problem pulling this in our system. So I know each county has different data practices or capacity. So just let us know what you need to pull that off. The next thing that I think is a big component of the challenge is like, how will we know if foster youth got the credit? So the Franchise Tax Board actually does release monthly data reports on who has claimed the Cali ITC or the Young Child Tax Credit, and they will newly report on the foster youth tax credit. And we've asked them to report using county and age, so they can just say general aggregate amounts who have claimed the credit and how much they have received and what the average refund is for young people. So they will be providing that back-end data, kind of reiterative feedback to us, like you've had 10 people claim it in week 1 or 2 or 3, and you've got 50 in week 4. So we'll know using that baseline data number you provide and the kind of retroactive look of how many people have claimed it, if our efforts are taking hold and working and having the effect that we wanted to see. So that's one way. And so really to just wrap up here with the challenge. So what are we really asking people to do so that we can implement this $21 million is, one, we've already sent a letter of participation that if you can send to us and say, we're doing this with you. Some people have already sent that, so thank you. Then the baseline number, hopefully we can work on that sometime in December or early January to get that baseline set up before the tax season starts. And then we'll be working on a little bit later today all together, the county education and outreach plan, sort of what do you think will work for youth in your county or for your staff? What do you have the capacity or ability to do? And how can JBAY help you do that? So we'll be doing that a little bit later. Now, awardees will receive prizes. and will be celebrated. So award recipients, we're going to definitely publish this in our newsletter, in general press releases to local and state media, and then also give public acknowledgments. So we do want to kind of hype up the awardees and the amazing work that you do every day, and just kind of bring attention to this as well. So that's also part of the challenge. And now I was just going to launch a quick poll that is about you know, this challenge here. So let me go find my toolbar. Oh, it says I'm logged into another device. Well, maybe I can't launch a poll. Jerry, can you launch the poll maybe? Maybe not. Well, maybe we'll skip the poll. Maybe we'll come back to it later. But I was just gonna, the answer is D, all of the above anyway, because we're trying to give cash prize, do public acknowledgements, and do positive press and media for our challenge participants and winners. So thank you for participating with us. So now I will hand it over to Carla to talk about our TA and training we'll be providing to you.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So happy to see some familiar faces. As stated earlier, my name is Carla Macias, and I was previously employed with Santa Clara County Social Services. I'm now consulting with JBAY on this Foster Youth Tax Challenge. This will be my third year working alongside JBAY in supporting foster youth to receive financial benefits and learn this important financial literacy skill of filing their taxes. Let me speak briefly on how I got involved. In December 2019, JBAY conducted a training in Santa Clara for all of our foster youth supporters, our ILP, NMD unit, social workers, transitional housing providers, CASAs, all on the Cal EITC benefits and documents needed to prepare current and former foster youth to file their taxes. In 2020 tax year, one of our employment counselors in Santa Clara County arranged a local VITA program to come to the hub, the youth center there in Santa Clara, for a one sub-site tax event. Then COVID hit. In the summer of 2020, Anna approached me with the pilot proposal to make the hub youth center a VITA site. I consulted with management, our ILP hub contractor, the Bill Wilson Center, and we decided to embark in this new adventure of filing taxes. JBAY, Santa Clara, Bill Wilson Center worked closely with the United Way Bay Area and the local IRS representative to set up the hub center as a VITA site for the 2021 tax season. That year, we served 45 foster youth who collectively received over $135,000 in tax refunds. In 2022 tax season, Santa Clara, along with 5 other counties, San Francisco, Contra Costa, Fresno, LA, and Alameda, served around 250 current and former foster youth who they collectively received over $600,000. So this is making a difference for our young people. And I'm really excited to bring my personal experience from helping a county become a VITA site, how we recruited volunteers, how we outreach to get current and former foster youth to file their taxes, and then actually becoming a VITA volunteer myself. I'm happy to bring all of that knowledge to all of the counties that are participating in this challenge with us. Next slide, please. The next few slides outline the technical assistance myself and JBAY can provide to all counties and their partners participating in this challenge. For the counties, we can assist in the following ways. I'll highlight a few. Build collaboration with your local VITA programs. The California State Controllers works with the IRS and other agencies to make these programs available in communities throughout California. Help create a data tracking and referral process. Look at existing databases you use. Perhaps you use efforts to outcomes to track your ILP services. That could be an easy way to track, all the youth that have filed their taxes. Develop county policy and procedures. I'll touch on this a little later. And training to all your community partners, child welfare, and juvenile probation staff. Next slide. For the county's community partners who are becoming a VITA site or connecting foster youth to a free tax filing service, we can assist with your VITA setup and closure with your sites, set up your calendar of tax site events, make recommendations, number of days a month, how many tax returns you can realistically complete in one day, help develop outreach and education plans with your county partner, help messaging to staff and community partners about tax credits available to foster youth. The Golden Opportunity provides media toolkits for the Cal EITC, and JBAY will have outreach materials geared for foster youth. And then support community partners with VITA volunteer certification process. I will be hosting Zoom test study groups in January. There is some overlap in the technical assistance. The training consists of a Tax 101 that can be presented to youth in an ILP curriculum class, as well as a Tax 101 geared for all the adult supporters, your community partners, child welfare, and juvenile probation staff. It is important to include all your partners to support our young people with messaging and outreach to file their taxes, gathering all their documents, making an appointment, either virtual or in person, reminding them of that tax appointment, and following up if there are any loose ends. For example, they did not receive a W-2 from an employer they worked for like a week, or their employer is no longer in business, how to help and support them to get that W-2. The partners you should include, of course, your ILP programs, THP NMD, THP Plus case managers, your CASAs, youth center staff, peer support workers, RAP providers, employment partners, foster youth legal court representatives, and then all of your foster youth programs on your community colleges, state campuses, like your FYSIs, Guardian Scholars, EOPS. For counties who have a community partner VITA site, you could do targeted recruitment for tax filing events. In Santa Clara, we opened up our youth center once a month, and we specifically targeted, parenting youth, NMDs, transitional housing providers. You may have a provider that serves a number of your foster youth, have a tax event just for that provider for one day. Sending out monthly updates or weekly updates, however you want to do it, to all of your community partners, your child welfare, probation staff, of just how many, tax filings you've completed and how much money these foster youth and collectively are receiving. As a VITA volunteer, it was rewarding to see a foster youth excited when they were told they were going to get a refund, and then discussing what they were going to do with that money, put it in a savings account, fix a car, pay off debt. If they don't have a checking or savings account, have flyers or a contact of someone at a bank or credit union, maybe your ILP program has a partnership with, that you can connect your youth to. Many foster youth want this money quick. If they don't have the direct deposit, it could take longer to receive their paper return. And for counties who are relying on referring foster youth to local VITA programs, let's build a relationship, request for a sub-site event, or perhaps designate volunteers to work directly with foster youth. Invite them to the specialized Foster Youth 101 tax training. We can help build that bridge of communication. For counties who are referring their current and former foster youth to online tax filing platforms, schedule times at your youth center or your office where they can have access to computers and have copies of the JBAY self-guided tool available for them. To get more foster youth involved, provide raffle prizes or gift cards for youth who file their taxes. If you have on-site events, have food available. And I know there's some, some things put in the chat about the data. I'm here to help with that. For data tracking options, there's various ways you can get your baseline data for this challenge. We've identified a few. Use existing county lists. You have your, you may get NMD lists, youth who are ILP eligible. You have your THP NMD participants, and then you also have your THP Plus list of, youth that are in the programs or youth even on the wait list. For parenting youth, maybe your foster care eligibility can send you a list of parenting youth who are receiving the infant supplement or the parent support plan. If your county has a youth center, use an existing outreach listserv used for mailers and for other, service outreach. Request the foster youth tax credit list from your CWS CMS data team. And if you need support, CDSS can support you in getting that data, and that contact will be in the county policy template. To get a full picture of the current and former foster youth who are eligible, perhaps requesting the list from your data team or CDSS are the best option. As Anna mentioned, at minimum, participating counties will need to provide JBAY with their baseline data to qualify for the challenge, and we are here to assist you in any way we can. Next slide. I want to thank Cindy Goulian from Santa Clara County and Jenny Serrano from Los Angeles for reviewing and providing input on the county policy template. The template allows counties to pick and choose language to customize it to their own county's tax filing plan. The counties participating in the challenge are providing free filing tax filing services in various ways. They're supporting foster youth with filing taxes using the online tax platforms and having the JBAY self-filing tax available, working with the local VITA program to provide sub-site events, or they're referring foster youth to those existing county VITA services, working with a community partner to become a full-fledged VITA program. The county policy template outlines these models in different tier levels for counties to include in their own policy. It also provides basic tax information foster youth may qualify for and resources along with links for more information and tools for foster youth to track education and self-employment expenses. Next slide. The policy template includes a section of the new foster youth tax credit, which includes a link to the JBAY foster youth tax credit fact sheet that outlines eligibility requirements as seen on the slide and information needed to for verifying eligibility. If you would like any support in updating your county policy, please feel free to contact me. Next slide. To qualify for the foster youth tax credit, a current or former foster youth must meet the W&I code as described in section 11402, be placed in an AFDC foster care placement. This excludes voluntary placements and youth in a locked facility like juvenile hall. When foster youth are filing their taxes, they must check the box they are eligible for the foster youth tax credit. The second box provides consent for the franchise tax board to contact CDSS to verify eligibility. We believe these two check boxes on the slide are how the questions will appear in the tax software. Since this is the first year of the foster youth tax credit, youth will need to be verified. The good news is that once they're verified from the FTB, Franchise Tax Board, they're all cleared for future years they're eligible or until they turn 26. There will be a bigger lift to verify the entire filing population this year, and then in subsequent years, only new filers or new 18-year-olds will need to be verified. The next few slides cover what we know so far, but this is subject to change once we see our final implementation guidance for this year. The official information will be included in our trainings to your staff in the second half of January and during the webinar on January 31st. Next slide, please. When eligible foster youth are filing their taxes, there are a few ways for verification to be confirmed. They can check the box that authorizes CDSS to provide verification to the FTB. They can provide a dependency or wardship letter on county letterhead and upload into the tax software of choice, or do both. The dependency wardship letter should contain the date of dependency or wardship, date of out-of-home placement, and date of case closure. You should also note that they were in foster care after the age of 13. This is similar to what you may do to provide these letters for financial aid purposes. If they decide not to do both, it could delay any potential refund. Next slide. It is important to note that a taxpayer's name should match as it is or was in CWS CMS. The FTB relies on information entered on the tax return to verify taxpayer eligibility for the credit. However, we know there may be ways or may not be a match. Sometimes the data entered into CWS CMS is not always correct. The foster youth may only put one last name on the tax return. In CWS CMS, they may have two last names. A foster youth decides to change the spelling of their name. The date of birth or social security may be off one number. There may be two cases in CWS CMS. The foster youth may have a different last name in each. CDSS will make every attempt to determine verification. If they're unable, they may contact the county of origin to further assist in the verification process, which will eventually delay the potential refund. Next slide. If a foster youth is married and filing jointly, they're still eligible for the foster youth tax credit. Same rules apply when entering their information on the tax return. All needs to match up with their name in CWS CMS. And check the box that the spouse is eligible for the foster youth tax credit, as well as authorizing CDSS to verify their eligibility with the Franchise Tax Board. Next slide. A decision on eligibility for the foster youth tax credit may be delayed or denied if eligibility is or cannot be confirmed by CDSS. It is highly recommended foster youth check the box to authorize consent and attach an authorized county letter of dependency or wardship indicating they were in foster care after age 13 on their tax return. Current or former foster youth can also request proof of verification from CDSS or contact if they have any questions. And the information is on this slide. As we move forward, we are gathering notes or suggestions and we'll share those with the implementation teams at the Franchise Tax Board and CDSS to consider in advance of the tax filing season. I'm now going to pass it on to Andy, who will walk us through the education and outreach plans.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks again for joining us today. As we look to this next slide, as we've been alluding to, I'm going to be going through the county education and outreach plan, which after I go through this, we're actually going to break into different groups in which you'll all actually have the opportunity to work with a staff member and within your counties and groups, go ahead and start working on that plan and ask any questions that may arise. Let's look at the next slide, please. So I just want to start by highlighting our report, which we just published this last August. This is pilot to practice lessons from 6 counties to achieve full implementation of California's new foster youth tax credit. We want to convey that there are 6 counties from which we're able to draw some really amazing lessons. And we really want to be able to highlight this to all of you as a resource as you're developing your county plans. To just learn from some of those best practices that we were able to draw from the pilot program. Next slide, please. So this is what the education and outreach plan is going to look like. You all should have received a Word document with this document. Please let us know and we can follow up if you need a copy. But it's broken down. Obviously, you have the contact information up at the top. And then it's broken down into activities and then a plan for each of those activities and then an option to be able to ask for JBAY technical assistance. And we're going to go into a little bit more details on those on the next few slides. The next slide, please. So we're going to start with activities. And the activities that you're going to be engaging in throughout this challenge are broken up into 4 main sections. It's first of all, the county policy and practice, which we've kind of been talking about earlier. Then we're going to move on to connecting and partnering with local VITA sites. We're going to have a section on staff and provider training, data and outreach. And then finally, the actual outreach and education of the TAY themselves. Can you get the next slide, please? And so this is going to be the meat of the plan, really. And that is under each activity, which is going to be included in this document. We want you to be able to go into details about what the plan for your county is going to look like, what steps you're going to be taking, and then there's a separate section for relevant dates, which we provide for you to be able to outline what your schedule is going to look like, when you're going to be implementing those plans, and when you hope to have them completed by. Next slide, please. And then lastly, with each activity, we've provided a little check mark at the very end to the right of each one, which is just the question, would you like JBAY TA support on this item? If this particular activity is something you would like our TA on, then just go ahead and check that box, and we'll be sure to follow up with you to provide any kind of support we can offer. Next slide, please. And so again, as I mentioned, we're going to go into 30-minute breakout groups. You are going to be grouped by county, and it also takes into account within those counties your account tier level, 1, 2, or 3. We're going to ask that you complete as much of your county education and outreach plan as possible. A JBAY staff will be with each group to help facilitate. So we ask that you please take advantage of this time to ask any questions you may have. And keep in mind that we're going to ask that you submit the completed plan to fytaxcredit@jbay.org by December 31st of this year. I think that's it on my end. Anna, I don't know if you have any further instructions before we actually go into our facilitated breakout rooms.
No, I think we're just going to have, Jerry, if you could launch the poll, the first poll, and I'm still, you don't have to manually put everybody's name in. I'm almost done opening that. So after the poll, I'll open the breakout rooms and we'll go from there. So Jerry, can you just launch that poll and then we'll get going? Also just, you're going to be in with your county partners. So you only need one person to fill this out. So just maybe the first thing you could think about is just designating a scribe, like the person who will type in your thoughts today. And the goal again is to get most of this done today. Some of you might actually finish today during this breakout room.
Okay, we're about 30% of folks have participated in the poll, so we'll give it a few more seconds. Mm-hmm. 60%. Okay, it's looking like it's slowing down, so I'm going to go ahead and end this. And I'm going to share these results. Okay. So what excites you most about the challenge? Looks like we have a tie between reducing poverty among TAY and their children in our county and helping TAY receive cashback credits that put money in their pocket. Awesome. And
Great, thanks, thank you. So I'm going to open the rooms that are like made, and if you're still in the main room, it's because I still need to click on your name and assign you. So just bear with me. I'm really slow at this. So here we go. I'm going to break out the rooms and we'll see you in about a half hour back in the main room with your plans all set. Here we go. Okay, Stephanie, hang on one second. I'm like, how do we? Brenda, which county are you with? No.
And Hernan is with me too. He was our late ad.
Okay. Oh, no, that's okay.
Okay.
I'm just, it'll be faster this way if I just ask people
Yeah.
where to put them.
Anna, when you have a sec, could you throw me in with the San Diego folks?
Oh, yeah, I thought I already did.
I got in with the Orange County folks, although they're lovely people. It's not my county.
Well, I think it looks like they didn't show up. Joanna was on.
Oh,
and
I saw Joanna here and Daniel.
Where?
I saw them earlier. I hope
Okay,
they didn't leave.
okay. I'm almost done. Hang on.
No worries. You're doing great, Anna. I know that the breakout rooms are really hard.
It takes so long. I was like, there's 2 speakers. I'll be done when they're done. No. Okay, Jasmine is with Sacramento.
YOLO.
Oh, hey, Jazz. I know you.
Oh, wrong Jazz. Oh, me Jazz. There's a couple Jasmines. Hi, everyone.
I see you. Okay. Ruby Rock. 1 second. I might need to adjust after if I get it wrong. I'm supposed to be putting Sacramento people with me, so I was doing mine last. Sorry. Raul, you're with me. Nate, I think that everybody didn't come from San Diego, so they're not in the main room here with us.
Got it. Okay.
Tiffany, which county are you with again? I'm so sorry. Napa.
Napa, yes, with Jasmine, Brenda Montanez, and Ruby.
Okay, perfect. I'm moving you over there, so sorry about that. And then Shannon.
Santa Barbara County.
Okay, great. So I'm going to send you over with Carla, and then we are done. So sorry about that.
Anna, I was put in, I think it was YOLO, but I'm Alameda County.
Oh, sorry about that.
No
Raul,
worries.
let me move you to. Gotta find your name here. So I need to move you to with
I believe Shantae was on the call.
Simone. Simone's doing Alameda. Sorry about that.
No worries.
And I think that's everybody then. Nate, do you want to join? Do you want to just do my group, or do you want to? I don't know if you want to just leave and come back because Joanna has to do this plan. I mean, you
Yeah,
probably have more of the plan figured out than she does at this point.
I know. I was hoping I could be help them out just to see what they got going and just let them know what we're doing, because this will be our first time talking, so I was pretty excited about it. I'm bummed they left.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened.
I don't know. Maybe just come back in 30 minutes.
Okay,
Okay.
I can log back in 30. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Valerie just joined. Valerie, which county are you with again? Okay.
Hey, Nate, you there? Hello, Ryan.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. Are you just exiting another breakout room or?
No, I'm just joining right now. I just got in to the event.
Oh, okay. Can I ask you what county you're in?
Fresno County?
Okay, let me see. I think somebody might be in here to drop you somewhere, but let me take a look and see if I can do this myself.
Looks like I just got invited to go to our breakout room.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you.
The different outreach material for that as well. And then July 31st, that is when we'll be awarding our, we'll be giving out our awards, we'll be announcing lots of fanfare. So look forward to that. Okay, great. So as we move into December, we'd love it if folks would share these different links. We have our volunteer link. It's very simple to sign up to be a VITA volunteer, or at least to get the process started. You know, just need your name, email, kind of your county or program or organization affiliation, along with a little info about what your experience has been like, or if you've had any experience at all, and what your availability would be like. The VITA volunteer opportunities are in person and virtual. So that is something that, you know, we'll work out a schedule and a means that works best for you with the site coordinators at the VITA volunteer sites. The outreach email template, you know, nice and simple, that's something that you can easily share with folks that might be interested. It also contains our contact information, so you can just push them along to us to answer the next questions as we get people volunteering. And we'd also love it if you circulate this wonderful flyer with the easy to use QR code. And lastly on this, the more VITA volunteers we have, the more youth that we can serve. So it really does make a huge difference. And as the before mentioned event, this is January 31st. So this is our webinar that's going to be put on by John Byrne Advocates for Youth, the California Franchise Tax Board, and California Department of Social Services. So this is a great opportunity to get yourself feeling familiar and confident with the foster youth tax credit, the California Earned Income Tax Credit, young child tax credit, education and renters credit, and more. So please do keep an eye out for this. We have these links, which are also in the chat. So nice and easy to share with your folks. Okay, and so the Franchise Tax Board, they are allowing they have resources for us. So it's really easy. If you want to get some flyers or some posters, you can use the link in the chat, and we'll make sure to share this as well. So you can order, you know, it says up to 20 posters or 100 flyers. You don't have to go with 100 or 20 if that's just too many for you. It does have options to kind of size down as needed. And we also have these links that we'll be sharing with you to get the different flyers, posters, and graphics. And so those are also going to be in English and Spanish to kind of, widen our reach. So do make sure to bookmark these things as they will be increasingly useful for us. And then please do follow us on social media. I'll go ahead and drop those links into the chat right now. This is, we always have different things, different graphics and posts coming out on the various social media sites. So we would love it, pretty easy to reshare, repost, retweet. And next year we will release a social media toolkit for everyone to spread the word about these resources and the available credits and the free filing strategies. So we hope you'll take a moment to follow us, help us spread the word together, and we can reach thousands of young folks, boost their income, and boost our local economy right through these tax refunds. And you can just see JBAY a little more often. And then lastly, we do have a newsletter, so it would be great if you could subscribe to that. This is a wonderful way of just staying up to date with different happenings. We release this every Tuesday, except for holidays, and we try to have about 3 to 4 different articles. They're usually less than 300 words, so it won't take up a whole lot of your time, but it will be very informative. The link is going to be in the chat. And if you just scroll down to the bottom, you can go ahead and sign up right on our website for the newsletter. And also you can look at our archive if you want to go back into the past. And thank you, Cynthia, speaking on that newsletter. Love it. That is all for me. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jerry. So I'm just seeing that we're at 2:30. We kind of were chatting each other like, how are the breakout rooms going? And everybody was sort of asking questions in there. So I don't want to keep people longer with a Q&A. I think we had a lot of good questions in the breakout rooms, but I will stay on if anyone does want to do some Q&A with me. I'll be available. Simone, did you want to close us out for the day?
Sure. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us for the launch and for joining us in the Foster Youth Tax Filing Challenge and all of the great work ahead. We're super excited to be partnering with all of you. And if we all don't talk before the new year, I hope the rest of your year rounds out really well, and you have a great holiday time and new year. So we'll be looking for those education and outreach plans, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or want to talk about any of the information that was shared today. Thanks, everyone.
Nice to see you all.
Good to see you. Hey, Patty.
Carla, Simone, Cindy, Jessica,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And I have a question for you.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, so as far as I know, we don't have any VITA sites here in Nevada County. And so like, if I signed up to be like a VITA volunteer, could I actually help the kids in my community? Or is that something that I would end up having to go to another county to?
That's a great question. Yeah. So we actually would partner you with as a virtual volunteer, and you could do in-person appointments, and then someone could virtually do what's called a quality review with you.
Right.
The IRS just means you meet with them and then someone else double checks it and signs off on it. So if you help recruit volunteers from Nevada County, you could have maybe even just 2.
Right.
You could quality review each other. So that's kind of the goal, is that would absolutely work. And if nothing else, we can get virtual appointments.
Well, and if I did something like that, then I could support our youth here with the local person.
Exactly.
So that would be something that you would encourage me to do.
If you have capacity, absolutely.
I don't really know what that would mean for me, but I could try.
Yeah. Well, we're all going through the training too. So Yeah, the training is, there's an online training. And then you essentially take a test. It's open book, open materials, and Carla here is going to be doing like study groups in case people want to go over any of the answers. But basically you do 3 practice IRS. The IRS gives you fake people. You go into a practice and you fill out their tax return and answer multiple choice questions about it. So that's how to become certified as a tax preparer. So you could do there's other levels of the training too, where it's just like intake, where you like just take a quick online test about what do people need to file, like get them ready for their appointment. That is a super easy certificate to get. It's 10 multiple choice questions. But the basic advanced training for tax filing is the first for new volunteers. It is a good amount of like, you attend a training, they'll tell you how to do it, and then you practice, and then you take the test.
Okay. And then just aside from me being a VITA volunteer, hi Cynthia down there. I didn't see you in.
Doing it, by the way, Helena.
Are you doing it?
Yeah. Carla talked me into it.
I kind of want to do it because I do it anyway, and I don't have
me
any
too.
training. But so my other question about that is, even if I did, like, take me out of the equation, can we be like referring our young people to a VITA like online? Okay. And so should I put that in my little education plan that you're going to help me figure that out?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we can, you can sign up to become a VITA volunteer. You can help recruit in your area to see if anybody wants to join you in that. We'll help get them all onboarded, and then we'll pick a site that might, so probably Lutheran Social Services is already helping a number of counties remotely. Then it's more about like in person. Are you going to do in-person events?
Well, I already do.
Yeah.
I mean, I do one-on-one with all of our ILP kiddos anyway.
Great.
So what this brings on is the 13 to 26. It just brings on a lot more. So maybe we could just do like a workshop or something like that.
Yeah. And I mean, the truth is the 13-year-olds don't qualify yet. They'll qualify when they turn 18, but yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Right.
But think about like your ILP population that you work with. I was thinking about doing just one-on-ones with our youth that have this need. And maybe they're not even, like, a lot of our extended foster care youth don't participate in ILP, but they're still part of our eligibility population. And so that would be an area where I felt like I could use my laptop and go to them if needed and do it as an ILP service, kind of like a dual purpose thing. Well, and I'm going to claim ILP hours to do my VITA training. I haven't asked for that yet, but that's what I have planned.
I would have to, but here's the thing, which is kind of cool. Sorry, we're getting off on an ILP tangent. Is a lot of it falls right under ILP, and a lot of those students, like, they don't want to participate in classes or anything else, but they do want to participate in that. And so to see them at least once a year from that.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll all sign up, and then I'll work on my plan and everything.
Okay, nice. Yeah. And we can just do like a one-on-one to flesh that out, or like figure, that's really what, the plans come down to, what's going to work for your youth and your county, which we can't tell you. We can just help get you what you need to pull off what you want to pull off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Well, thank you. Let's see, did anyone else have questions that we can answer before jumping off?
Carla, can you drop the link to that letter in the chat so I don't have to go searching through my email, because I don't think I submitted it yet.
Let's see.
The participation letter.
Yeah, we agree to participate, the letter of intent or whatever that's due today.
Let's see.
I think I have it. Do you have it, Anna? Do you have it readily available?
Yeah, if I stop sharing my screen, I can just write from the top here, right from our resource directory here.
It's good to see you, Cynthia.
You too, Carla.
1 second. I'm just going to put it in the chat.
I'm actually going to jump off, but I want to say bye to everyone who's still on, and thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, Simone. Thank you very much.
Bye. Nice to see you, Cynthia
Cynthia, did you
and
get that
Helena
link?
and everybody.
Yes.
Thank you, Simone.
Thanks.
Okay, great. Got it.
No,
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Like Anna said, we're here to help out with anyone. Like if you guys need one-on-one assistance, that's what we're here for. We'll help you explore your capacity, what you think, how do we get you connected, and what, realistically, what you can all do in your counties.
Mhm.
Perfect. Thanks, you guys.
Any other questions? Okay. Awesome. Well, have a great rest of the day. We'll see you all soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Carla. Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks.